morning, everybody. Welcome to our July 20th downtown download. I'm Lieutenant Bill Offelt, in command of our Specialized Services Unit, also in charge of our downtown operations for the City of Fargo, so welcome, everyone. Couple reminders before we get started here. We'll have time for public comment at the end of the presentation. That public comment is limited to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We have these blue cube microphones that we'll pass to you if you have something to say towards the end. We'll make sure we get those to you. So our agenda for today, we had a really good street fair last week. Hot as usual. Mother Nature didn't let us down. Also included was some rain, so that was great also. So we'll talk about that just a little bit, give a little bit of a recap. As usual, our downtown substation update, some new things coming with our parking project implementation I've been talking about for the last couple of months. Some data, some crime data, update on our street performers and food vendors, and some of the ordinance review that's going on. A little discussion on homelessness and harm reduction, and then time for open discussion. So we'll get going here. Street fair, like I said before, had a really good I was really happy with the police department's presence at Street Fair, and I was also very happy with how Street Fair went, just how it was organized and how everything went this year. So just a picture of some of the officers that were present at Street Fair this week. One thing I wanted to point out, our sergeant that had put Street Fair together had a family emergency and had to leave for that week. I had a family emergency that I had to leave in the beginning of the week for. And so much of the last minute planning or final stage planning, much of the implementation and supervision was put on our senior downtown resource officer, Dean Jordan, and he did a phenomenal job. And so I just wanted to take a minute to point that out at this meeting. I know a lot of you know Dean. I know Dean's well known in the downtown area, and we gave him some responsibilities that are much outside of his pay grade, and he did a phenomenal job with that. So thank you, Dean, for taking care of that. So we had our community engagement tent in the 200 block of Broadway, which I thought was a great location. A lot of people stopped by, had a good opportunity to engage our community there, and thought it was just a very good location and went very well. We had more officers assigned to Street Fair this year than we have in the past. Usually we have around 3 to 4. We had a consistent 5 officers this year, and hoping next year as staffing improves that we can even make that a little better. And we were able to consistently do that throughout the entirety of Street Fair. Very, very happy with that. Positive contacts, just the times I was able to be down there, I wasn't able to be down there the whole time, but people I talked to said, hey, we're seeing more of you down here. We like that. This is a good thing. And just a lot of positive communication about our presence down there that I was happy with. So all in all, I think it's a success. One thing that we did this year, we had a lot of individuals who were driving crime in our downtown area that we'd identified who had open warrants. We made sure that we did a warrant sweep and brought those individuals into Cass County Jail. So it was, we've done that in the past. We implemented that this year, which I thought was just another reason that we had a successful on the police side event down there. So Street Fair went well this year. Just wanted to touch on a couple of the points as to why I thought it did. Substation, we're anticipated for a fall of 2022 completion. I'm thinking is probably going to be past September now, not sure. But again, citing COVID-related issues on getting materials. We are looking at the design on the inside, had a couple meetings on that, and also looking at what our outside design is going to be. So and just a couple points on that. We're going to be using that for our downtown operations, to store equipment, have downtown meetings. It's going to have cameras. It's going to have an emergency phone on the outside. And so once we get this, it's going to be a good thing for us and a good thing for the downtown area. Just taking more time like everything seems to be lately. So parking project, some updates on that and some positive updates. As you remember, we've been waiting for signs to put signage at our 5 pedestrian pickup areas in our downtown. Those signs have been completed. We have them in our possession and working with engineering to place those. Going to be implemented within the month of August. We're going to do a public education with our comms, Fargo comms team, communication and government affairs, I should use the appropriate title, team through the city, through social media, and we'll also be working with our officers just to keep them updated on what that ordinance means and how we can enforce that ordinance. There's going to be a large education period prior to any type of enforcement on that parking ordinance. So that's what, I should go back, that's what the cab stand portion, if you recall, these parking areas are going to be split into two. There's going to be a cab stand portion where marked cabs like Doyle Cab can park and wait for people to hire and to go somewhere within the city. And then there'll also be a ride share parking area. This ride share parking area is actually for anybody in the community. Some of the terms on this, it's between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. Thursday evening through Sunday morning, 3 a.m. Sunday morning. So 7 p.m. to 3 a.m., I'm sorry. Thursday, let me correct myself. It's 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. I have a typo in my thing. So it's 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. Thursday through Sunday. The areas will be marked with these signs. It'll be for pickup only. You can still drop off anywhere you want in the city. Anybody can use it as a 10-minute limit as long as the vehicle is occupied. And so, again, we'll be doing education prior to actual enforcement of this. The next step you'll see will be the signs going up in those areas. Typo on 7 p.m. That was the original plan that I didn't change on the slide. So it'll be 10 p.m. All right, going into data a little bit in case reports. Not much has changed on time of day and day of week. You can see that Saturday is really our heaviest time for when case reports or crimes are being reported. And you can see that 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. are our top times. So the days are Saturday, the times are 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. Kind of goes with that bar close theme that we've been talking about and that late night into early morning theme that we've talked about through all of our downtown download meetings for when these crimes are happening. Just a quick breakdown. I'm going to do this on one slide. We've had no shootings. We've had no homicides in our downtown area. Our aggravated assaults were 12 for this month. Aggravated assaults meaning that there was serious bodily injury caused or consciousness, people were knocked unconscious, things like that. The majority of those were done around that bar close time. If it wasn't done around that bar close time, a lot of these were our homeless on homeless population, which is something that we've been seeing consistently throughout. Criminal mischief, as you remember last month, we had a bit of a graffiti spree downtown. We had identified an individual by picture, put that out over social media and very successfully identified that individual and that individual is being charged for those criminal mischief crimes. Burglary, we had a little bit of a burglary spree in this last month, and I'll talk about a suspect at the end here, but underground garages in our downtown area were being targeted mainly for bikes and just other things that unlocked vehicles. We had 4 of those and looking for a suspect in that. Simple assaults were up a little bit. I decided to break down where those simple assaults were happening. The majority of them were happening around that bar close time. But 5 of them were bar related. Where we're getting a little bit of a rise is we had a rise in domestic violence incidents in our downtown area, not within dwellings, but actually out on the street. And so we had 5 domestic violence related incidents. 8 of our simple assaults were related to our homeless population. 4 of these were just miscellaneous, a couple of them at the library. But for the most part, our rise was due to domestic violence. I wanted just to break it down a little bit and see who we're doing. And we're going to start identifying some individuals that might be continuously creating these types of circumstances in our downtown area and try to work with them a little bit. So had 2 robberies this past month. One of them was related to bar close. Another one was a homeless on homeless robbery, and arrest was made on that. And then thefts. I want to talk about thefts a little bit because this is an area of prevention that we can look at. Bikes are being stolen, again, out of some of them out of downtown garages, but a lot of them locked up and being cut. be careful, be mindful of how long you leave a bike that might be locked up. I mean, if it's overnight, that's fine, but if it's for an extended period of time, people see that, they start to target it. And it appears as if that might be what's happening with some of these, is that their bike's locked up on a light pole or something for a long period of time, and then it gets taken. Tip jars, this is the first one of these that I've seen this year anyway. We had multiple tip jar thefts where baristas are leaving tip jars, other individuals are leaving tip jars out on counters, and individuals are running with the tip jars. So just a reminder, monitor those tip jars. Frequently take money out of those tip jars if you have them, and store that money elsewhere, and try to prevent some of those things from happening. Food at some of our gas stations in the downtown area was the next kind of uptick that we had in theft. Excuse me, a lot of people taking food, and so just monitor stores a little bit more cautiously and more frequently. If you can have people out on the floor, it's people that are just walking in. Some of them are just eating the food in the store and not paying. So a little bit more of a monitoring of that for our downtown businesses. The rise in some of these is not a huge rise, but one that I wanted to point out and one that I wanted to break down a little bit more to see who was doing some of these things. So, street performers and food vendors, we've been hearing a lot of rumor from some of our food vendors, specifically downtown, that we want to get rid of food vending completely. That is not the case. Just giving a little bit of an update on that. There's a collaboration within our city departments to kind of clarify what ordinances we have. They also want to try to streamline the process for applying for specific ordinances on street performers and food vendors, and that takes time. And so once a plan is put in place with the city, there's going to be public comment on that, or time for public comment, time for people to hear what that plan might be, time for individuals to speak their mind or speak their piece on that. It's not the intent of the Fargo Police Department or the city to end either of these things. So those rumors are not true. We want to just make sure that we update these ordinances and that everybody feels good about where we're at with that. But a reminder for food vendors, this is what we've been seeing, especially this summer. You cannot sell food from trucks on the roadway. You can't park your food vending vehicle on the roadway and sell. It has to be off the roadway. And another reminder, if you're on private property, you have to have permission to be on private property to sell food from your food truck. So just a quick reminder on that. Homelessness and harm reduction, just wanted to give a quick update. Camps, if you remember, towards the end of 2021 and really the summer of 2021, we had a lot of homeless camps near the Red River, and we had a lot of citizen complaints on that. We've worked in collaboration with the Engagement Center and with Jillian and your crew, a very successful collaboration where we have a large reduction in those camps, seeing very few of those. And many of the individuals that were living in camps are working towards being housed or have been housed. And so just wanted to point that out. I see that as a success this year and a continuing success. We've been monitoring those areas that individuals are frequenting, that have been camping in, and making sure that if camps are being started, that we try to provide services and move them on to someplace that's a little bit more safe. Downtown Quality of Life Committee has started up again, and that's a committee that's being chaired by the DCP, and a lot of our downtown businesses and partners are meeting and saying, okay, how can we keep the quality of life downtown where it's at and even make it better? One thing that was identified, not only by individuals in this committee, but also by myself and others that are working downtown, is that there's this feeling of being unsafe in the downtown area. People say, I don't feel safe, especially during the day. And when you look at the numbers, the things that might be happening that might make people feel unsafe are happening at night. They're not happening during the day. And I really think what's going on and what we've identified is that we have some individuals in pretty severe mental health crisis walking around the downtown area right now, which will make people feel uncomfortable. And so we just began discussions on what can we do to help these individuals? What can we do to bring the resources that we have within the city of Fargo and within the state together to try to work on this problem and bring individuals in mental health crisis in our downtown area, bring them the help that they need, while at the same time making people in downtown feel safe and feel like it's a great place to come because it really is. And so I wanted to just touch briefly on that. That's where we're going to be going. That's what we're going to be working towards in in the next few months. And we're going to be working, this is a community partner thing. This is not a police-only thing. And we'll continue to work towards a good solution for that issue. Last thing I wanted to talk about, I haven't put pictures of people up on my downtown download much or often, but this is an individual who is an extreme person of interest, and actually a suspect in many of the thefts and burglaries in our downtown area. Just urging the public that if you know where this individual is at or can lead us to this individual, just give our dispatch a call, and we will go pick him up. So Clarence Charbonneau, believed to be a suspect in many of our burglaries, known to be a suspect in many of our burglaries in the downtown area. Questions? That was a quick one, 16 minutes I got that done in today. Anybody that that needs the blue block of communication? All right. If there are no questions, no comments, again, appreciate everybody's partnership, collaboration. Thanks everybody for tuning in today, and we'll see you next month. Thank you.